A sob catches in her throat. I'm not here for your amusement, Axel. Now let me go, and we can all get on with our separate lives. That knife slices deeper. There is no me without you, Ophelia. There is no separate. Not anymore. She shakes her head. You only want me because my blood's vampire catnip. No, princess. I wanted you before I ever tasted you. I'll still want you, even if I never get to taste you again. And I'm going to show you how much. Welcome to our first book review, Darlings. If you love me for Historian, Ravenloft D&D, and my obsession with vampires, well then you're gonna love what I read. Because this is a spicy, dark romance Booktok Girlie paradise. Because I really only like possessive dom men, and although I'll read a contemporary here or there, mostly Mafia, I mainly read paranormal and fantasy. So let's dive in to our first book review. Today, we'll be reviewing Forged in Blood, the first book in the Broken Bloodline series by Sadie Kincaid. This is a spicy, dark romance. It is a bully romance, and it's poly. We'll be discussing some adult topics, so to appease my YouTube overlord, I'll be replacing all XXX words with spicy or other adorable replacements. Thank you for your understanding. So this is your trigger warning. If you dislike spicy, morally gray men stalking you down, obsessing over you, and taking your dripping kitty as a group, well then, why are you on Dark Romance BookTube? But if you love a bully-turned-devoted hottie, gorgeous pansexual men all over you, and sub-dom play, well then you're in the right place, babe. But real quick, a real trigger warning. This book contains bullying, attempted essay not by the love interest, violence, and spice that involves Shark Week. There might be some minor spoilers ahead, but I'll try my best not to do any, although my ADHD rambling brain, it makes no promises. So picture it. You're at a university, finally looking to overcome years of isolation and mockery. You lost your best foster home because people blamed you for a pyromaniac event. But now, you finally got a fresh start. But that fresh start ends fast when you accidentally witness 3 insanely hot vampires feasting on a woman. They kidnap you. They threaten to ravish your body. But at the last second, their master shows up and forbids them from biting you, but not from stalking you. If you already know the boys, leave us an emoji with who your favorite is. If you're Axel's princess, leave us a little crown. If you're Xavier's cupcake, leave us a little dessert. If you're Kai's sweet girl, leave us a heart. And if you're into their sire Alexandros, leave us a book. Personally, I thought I'd be a princess, but it turns out I'm a cupcake. Also, if you're here from my lore essays, this is going to be a little bit different than my lore deep dives. Because, well, this is going to be dripping with my personality, and sometimes I'm a little much, not unlike my vampire boyfriend. This type of video is new for me, but I want to share all the parts of my passions in writing and gaming, and that includes reading. And mostly reading downright filthy, dark, fictional men.
That's what you want, isn't it? To be mine. Forever.
So if you enjoy dark romances, hit that button and let me know that you want more content like this. Right now, we're setting our first channel goal. If we hit 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year, I will do a special Historian project just for you. So if you haven't hit that button already, don't forget to subscribe. And with that, grab your cozy drink and let's dive in. Meet Ophelia Hart. She's a lonely foster kid, seeking a new life, seeking an escape from the torment and the teasing of her past, wrongfully branded as a pyromaniac. She's a pink-haired girl, an innocent young woman at uni on a mysterious college trust fund. One unlucky night, she fatefully witnesses 3 men, commanders in the frat house Ruby Dragon Society, feasting on a young woman, discovering they're vampires. Axel, the leader and the golden boy. Xavier, dark and sadistic. Malachi, who's a beefcake with a heart of gold. She's kidnapped and taken to their basement, bound, vulnerable, ready to be ravished when their master, Professor Alexandros Dracos, saves her, forbidding them to bite her. The twist? He made them follow her, protect her, watch her, because she's special. She just doesn't know it yet. But Axel and Xavier are absolute bullies, fueled by their addiction to the smell of her blood that they can't taste. Think The Vampire Diaries meets Cruel Prince with a dash of the Atlas Six, but if everyone had fangs and less impulse control. In my brain, it's like having Damon Salvatore, Ascended Astarion, Angel, and Elijah Michelson all helplessly in love with me. The vampire mythology in Forged in Blood blends the familiar vampire tropes with some fresh twists. In this world, being sired isn't just a physical transformation, it's a bond. A deep, intimate tether that lets vampires speak inside of each other's minds. Yes, we get telepathy with our bitey boys, and yes, it is as hot as it sounds. These vampires, they don't burst into flames in the sunlight either, which means more hours of the day to be morally problematic. There's also a unique twist involving who vampires fall in love with, a very specific and rare race that stirs something primal in them. But that's staying in the spoiler vault for right now. Sorry, not sorry. Personally, I thought the bond mechanics was handled really well. It combines multiple lores from various universes and histories into a really nice cocktail of individuality. If you want a full breakdown on how this series matches up different vampire mythologies and how it makes them work, well, that's an essay for another time, babes, so leave me a comment letting me know you want it, because you want to bite into that juicy lore. That, or come and tell me on my Discord, which I'll link in the description below. People who leave comments on Discord, they get first priority in new essay topics. I'm not going to lie to you. The first half of this book had me on edge. And not from suspense, but from rage. Pure, unadulterated rage. Axel and Xavier, they're straight up bullies. I'm talking mean girl energy, but they're hot dudes. They're obsessed with Ophelia, yes. They want to bite her, mark her, ruin her in every way possible that you can imagine, sure. But instead, they emotionally torment her. They mock her, humiliate her, make her question her worth. It is the textbook dark bully romance. And if you're not prepared for it, which I wasn't, it hurts. And honestly, if I hadn't already seen on TikTok teasers showing just how feral, in love, over the top they become later, I don't know if I would have survived the first half of this book. You know, I say that, but that's also not true, because here's the thing with Sadie Kincaid. She always does this to me. I start the book hating the main man. I fantasize about how I'm going to tell them off. I scream internally every 10 seconds. And yet, I stay. I daydream about telling them off, but I stay. I rant at my husband how annoyed and toxic they are. I highlight every red flag in my annotations and leave sarcastic clapbacks. And somehow, impossibly, I still fall in love with them anyway. Every single time. I don't know how she pulls it off, how she keeps me hooked on that slow descent into obsession and redemption. It's a gift, a wicked, brilliant gift. But then, thank the f***ing gods, we get to the lovers' acts, and we're finally past all of the bullying BS. I'm talking like bound to your soul, whisper in your mind, ruin me for all other men kind of love. In personality, in truth, in magic. And the spice! Oh, babes, the spice. We're talking dripping down your leg level of heat. Spice that makes you question if you're suddenly into public scenes now. Spice that has you side-eyeing your local library and asking yourself, why haven't I ever defiled a bookshelf? Don't worry, reality kicked back in. I did not pop my library cherry. I have read every single spicy scene in the second half of this book at least 3 times now. For research, for review accuracy, for science, obviously.
Sure, Jan.
Not because I'm like feral or anything, just research purposes. The way their bond translates physically is where the book truly shines. No longer is it about possession, it's about worship. It's about need. It's about reverence. You're not reading just a spicy vampire romance, you're reading a supernatural surrender. Which, like, I'm a sub IRL, so obviously I would want 3 hot, demanding doms that I could submit to while I'm tied to the bed. But yeah, this was a perfect purchase for me. Let's talk about our sweet, soft-hearted girl, Ophelia. She is such a baby girl character. I mean, full stop, she's a kitten. Sugar sweet, emotionally open, soft-spoken, perfect sub energy. Yes, she has the occasional bratty moment, and honestly, I love her for that. But at her core, Ophelia is tender, devoted, and completely sincere in how she gives her heart. But don't get it twisted. She's not a pushover. When Ophelia doesn't want something, she makes that very clear. Her consent and boundaries are never in question, even when she's being tossed around by dommy vampire hotties. And that matters. Most of the resistance happens outside of the bedroom, though. But inside of the bedroom, well, I think we covered that last chapter. That said, the first half of this book broke my heart for her. She stands up for herself over and over again, and it makes no difference. The bullying ends up wearing her down. It makes her question her worth, and she's been through this kind of cruelty her whole life. I just wanted to scoop her up and burn Axel and Xavier's pants chickens to ash every time they hurt her. But that's the emotional arc that makes the payoff work. That, or it's Sadie's witchy powers. Watching her go from bullied and broken to chosen and claimed and adored, 10 out of 10. Baby girl deserves the world, and she gets it. Editing kit here. I just realized I'm halfway through editing, and I have been spelling Axel like the word and not as his name. I've been adding an E, and my graphics are already baked in for the video. Somebody's shooting me, but not really. Let's talk about Axel. Or should I say Alistair. Our blonde, brooding boy who technically leads the Ruby Dragon Society. He's not the master. That title belongs to the absolutely unhinged and delicious Professor Dracos. But he is the oldest of the sired vampires, and, in effect, the group's de facto commander. And yes, I was obsessed with him the most at first, because he's blonde. What did you expect? I wanted to love him most. I really tried to. And honestly, I do still love him, but I think that he got the least attention on the page. Despite the fact that he's the leader, that he's the favorite of Professor Dracos, and that he's the firstborn of the vampire crew, he ends up getting the least emotionally developed of the trio. That's not to say that he's bad, not at all. I like him more than I like Kai, but that's probably more to do with Kai's looks and not his personality. Axel had so much potential for way more dommy material, and I just wanted more. More scenes with him as the focus, more trauma from his past, more backstory like Xavier had. I mean, come on, give me more from my blonde bombshell. I still want to smash that, don't get it twisted. I just found myself full on in love with the next boy more. Oh my god. OMFG. Xavier. From the moment he handcuffed her and threatened to put his, rooster sauce in her throat, I wanted him. Look, I have two types when it comes to men. Arrogant, sarcastic blondes, and black-haired hotties that are as evil as sin. Xavier, he's a letter. He's tattooed, terrifying, emotionally obliterating, and utterly magnetic. He's got the best backstory, too. Fully formed trauma, woven beautifully across multiple books, because I've read most of them so far. And he is the most dom. The most, like the absolute most. The boy is rough. The boy is dark. The boy will give you a hand necklace and then ram that sass right out of you. I wanted to be his cupcake so he could lick my frosting. If for nothing else, read this book for him. I swear to Ishtar, it's worth it. He had me blacking out highlights, fanning myself, full-on whimpering at my Kindle like a Victorian woman caught in the sight of a scandalous ankle. Peak book boyfriend. Peak vampire. Peak dom. Peak everything. And next, our gentle beast, Malachi, or Kai. He's the switch of the group, the one who'll hold your hand, rub your back, and then pin you to the bed if you ask nicely. He's the one giving you aftercare from whatever Xavier just did to you, but can absolutely give a solid dom session in his own right. Kai is kind, he's sweet, he's genuine. He's the only one who wasn't a bully to Ophelia in the first half, and honestly, that alone deserves a slow clap. He's the youngest of the three vampires, and he's definitely the most emotionally available. He's not afraid to say what he feels or to act on love instead of lust. Now, about his looks. He's described as having a shaved head, piercings, and a build that's given full RKO wrestler energy. And personally, that's not really my vibe. I do like muscle. I just like lean muscle builds. I like glam, pretty boys. Think Damon Salvatore, not bulky, wholesome daddy. But Kai is good. Kai is steady, Kai is safe. He's also the only one that I didn't yell at in the first half of the book, which is kind of a miracle at this point. He's the quiet power of the group. And even if I wasn't swooning over him, I deeply respected what he brought to the table. If Xavier is fire and Axel is steel, Kai is earth. Solid, grounding, but ready to swallow you whole if you'll let him. And the last, but certainly not least, character, Professor Alexandros Dracos. The master, the sire, the one who gives Elijah Michelson but Domir energy. I want to tell you everything about him. I really, really do. But spoilers, babes. So many spoilers. Like lore dump, soul bond, ancient blood levels, river would never let me kind of spoilers. Just know this. He's powerful, commanding, and gives zero fucks if he's crossing lines. He walks in like a predator wearing a tenure badge, and he immediately owns the page. Every time he speaks, it's layered with danger, dominance, and deliciously dark intrigue. I'm not sure if he's ever slept with any of his sired vampires. Though gods, I want him to. Specifically Xavier. I want him to tap Xavier like a bloody wine barrel. But that's another essay. Another video. Another night of unholy fantasies in my brain. So, I am not the star-giving kind of person. Except when I have to be because Amazon forces me to be. I myself am also an author, so I don't feel comfortable handing out stars. If I loved a book, or at the very least I deeply enjoyed myself, I'll give you a review.
And if they're not?
Well, you're never going to know that I read the book. I want to uplift authors, gamers, creators, and lore that I love. Not open the door to toxicity, but I will talk pepper level. It was ghost pepper level. The hot ones would die trying to survive this book's level of spice. There are scenes that would burn the skin off your retinas just because you read them too fast. I do fully recommend Forged in Blood, and if you're a KU girly like me, add it to your library today. This is peak dark romance, Booktok Girlie, polyamory, romping fun. It's spicy, unhinged, emotional, and everything I crave in a paranormal romance. Run, don't walk. Ophelia and her vampire boyfriends await. And now that you know the boys, if you haven't already, be sure to leave us the emoji for who your favorite one is. To remind you, Axel's a crown, Xavier's a cupcake, Kai is a heart, and Alexandros is a book. And before we go, I have a mandatory throw, cause girlie gotta pay her bills. I mean, JK, kinda. I only started writing for myself and not for other companies really recently, so at most I can buy a coffee. But I really like coffee. I have a new spicy novella out. This one, it is contemporary. I know, weird, because I'm a paranormal fantasy babe, but this one hits all of those nerdy notes, I swear. Why? Because it's all about the nerdy guy getting the hot girl at the university via a game of D&D. And his dom personality, it speaks to her inner sub. It's mostly spice, just FYI, so adults only. It's called Kisses and Calculations, and it's the first in a new series called Nerdy Doms. This one started as a request from an anonymous mutual, but I enjoyed fulfilling it. So I'm open to doing more custom novellas and fanfictions based on viewer requests. As well, the second book in my Gemstone Souls series is currently out right now. It's a dark vampire romance, it's poly, and it's enemies to lovers. I get very spicy in there as well. And with that, I want to say thank you for being here. Because writing and gaming, they're my passions. And with subscribers like you, I get to share those passions. And I get to explore all the different facets of what that means. So thank you. And I hope that I see you in the next one. Good night, darling.
And now you're all mine. And I'm all yours. Until morning, at least.